Hey, fellow and future adventurers, welcome back to Caveman Gaming. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Monster Talks. Today we're going to be talking about yet another classic creature, hailing all the way back Monster Manual 2, a Gary Gygax creation from 1988. We will be talking about one of my favorite creature types here, a devil. Particularly, challenge rating 3, devil, known as a bearded devil. Let's take a look, shall we? We have the Bearded Devil, a medium fiend, lawful evil, armor class of 13, initiative +2, hit points of 58, and a speed of 30. Pretty standard stuff for CR3 of humanoid fiend creation. Looking at their stats, you can see that they are pretty heavy into the melee combat uh, type builds. Heavy in strength, heavy in dex, heavy in constitution, and surprisingly charismatic. They even have that a little bonus in their saving throw again for charisma. Devils, of course, going to be a little resistant to cold damage as they are prone to run hot. I know how it feels. Immune to fire, naturally. If you're going to be living in hell, you got to be able to take the heat. As well as immune to fire, frightened, and poison damage and the poisoned condition. They have a dark vision range of 120 feet, unimpeded by magical darkness. I think that's a new update in the 2024 rules that such creatures are able to see through magical darkness. Passive perception of 10, pretty standard. They only speak Infernal, but they have that telepathy of 220 feet, making it possible to communicate with your player characters simply by reaching out with your mind. Very cool stuff. A typical trait of devils, magic resistance. The devil has advantage on saving throws against spells and other magical effects. Something that obviously is going to make this creature quite strong. We'll have a look at their attacks. They do have multi-attack. The bearded devil is able to make one beard attack and one infernal glaive attack. So let's have a look at those. Starting with the beard, melee attack roll, +5 to hit, 5-foot reach, an average damage of 7 or 1d8 +3 piercing damage, and the target has the poison condition until the start of the devil's next turn. Until this poison ends, the target cannot regain hit points. I think that might be a new feature in the 2024 rules as well. I don't recall. Correct me if I'm wrong. That infernal glaive melee attack roll, +5 to hit, 10-foot reach. So these guys have a little bit of a extended reach here compared to a lot of other melee creatures. An average of 8 slashing damage, or 1d10 +3. And if the target is a creature and doesn't already have an infernal wound, it is subject to the following effect. The target must make a Constitution saving throw. DC is 12. On a failure, the target receives an infernal wound. While wounded, the target loses an average of 5, 1d10 hit points at the start of each of its turns. The wound closes after 1 minute, after a spell restores hit points to the target, or after the target or a creature within 5 feet of it takes an action to staunch the wound, doing so by succeeding on a DC 12 Wisdom Medicine check. That has to be new. I do not recall any of this from the 2014 Legacy rules. And I did play through Descent into Avernus, and I used Bearded Devils quite thoroughly. Really liking these changes. That's sounding very deadly, very effective. Having a look at these two attacks in unison, working together with each other, we can see how effective this poison condition that your target, your player characters, might receive from the beard attack, where they cannot regain hit points, which affects that infernal wound from the infernal glaive. The infernal wounds obviously being able to be healed up when they receive healing magic, or rather restore hit points from a spell, which they are unable to do so if they are poisoned by that condition. making that a kind of lethal combo. You gotta hope your player characters are good at wisdom checks, I guess. Constitution saving throws, rather, to negate those infernal wounds. Yeah, that sounds like it can cause them to bleed out pretty quickly. I love it. What an incredible creature. Let's have a little look at some of their lore. A little bit about bearded devils, or Barbazu, as they are known in the Nine Hells. Typically, these devils are a type of shock trooper, most impulsively belligerent of the devils. These barbarous devils earned their name from their venomous beard like tendrils that hang from their chin. They are the second lowest in the hierarchy of lesser devils. I think the only thing below them are your run of the mill typical imps. Some creatures are usually displayed as fearsome looking humans, standing about 6 feet tall, often have either green skinned or purple skinned, roughly around 225 pounds of muscled body. Their signature features their disgusting, wiry beards, which were occasionally infested with white maggots, although they could also be recognized by their pointed ears and long tails. Their skin was moist but covered in scales, and despite having clawed hands and feet, they almost always carried massive saw-toothed glaives. Bearded devils were volatile and violent, attacking at the slightest provocation and exploiting any opportunity to go on the offensive. Extremely cruel, fighting not because of loyalty to the system or fellowship of their kin, but out of need to injure, kill, and terrify. Bearded devils typically combat craving creatures. Like I said, easy to provoke. Going to hunt down your players relentlessly. And I think that's the idea that I will play into if we do a little demonstration, as I like to do here on Monster Talks. So that's a little bit about the bearded devils. There's certainly a lot more lore to it than that, but so how about we jump on over to our Roll20 page, see what kind of map we can find and set up. Maybe a little chase with our player characters ending up in Avernus on the first layer of hell, right on the edge of some sort of battle between devils and demons. Several devils decide to give chase to the players when more devils swarm the attacking party, causing several of the other devils to break off from the pursuit. But one particular bearded devil, absolutely relentless, that need to injure, kill, and terrify, driving it forward, chasing after our player character, hunting it down into some sort of inescapable cavern or temple, or well, we'll see. We'll set something up in Roll20. It's gonna be fun. I love playing devils. Right, this is a nice big map. We got some cool, interesting things going on. Let's see, we got a busted up little war machine, some sort of big bones of something, blocked off little pathway, and the line for our adventurers. Yeah, I think that looks fantastic right there. Let me find our bearded devil. It's him out here on the map. I think the scenario we're going to present to our player here is that they encountered some devils here when they first entered into the first layer of Avernus. They ran for their lives, maybe stealing a infernal war machine. Came along this pathway up here before their machine sputtered out, rallied off this little cliff here. They continued on foot, eventually reaching the pinnacle of this little mountain. Nowhere left to go. One single bearded devil reaching up to them and having a little fight. Right, looks like we are in business, all set up, good to go here. I'm gonna go ahead and put the word out, see if I can't find a player to participate in this little activity. Somebody to take on a bearded devil. To CR3, I think the idea we will go with a level 4. Let's do a level 4 single character along with a hireling. We might even use the same Druid. I'll beef it up a little bit. Um, I'll leave it up to I'll leave it up to the player if they want to use a hireling of some kind, because they might need it, especially since we looked at that stat block and we know that the lack of healing that poison presents is going to be tricky. They might need that additional help just for applying those medicine checks, staunching those infernal wounds. Otherwise, this could be quite deadly. It'll be fun either way. All right, I have found a player to join me on this little adventure, facing off against the fearsome and mighty Bearded Devil. Thank you for joining me here, Andrew. Go ahead and introduce yourself if you don't mind.
Hey, happy to be here. I've been running in a few campaigns with the Caveman for a couple of years. And gonna see how we hold up against the Bearded Devil today.
Hell yeah. Alright, so here is the situation. You recently just found you and your friend here. You are playing Thrush Underhill and your friend Malvo Terebus. You might have met Malvo just very recently as you find yourself on the first layer of Avernus, thrusted across the plains for some reason or another. Not too far away from where you landed was this battle, this fight going on between demons and devils, when a squadron of devils noticed your presence and began to pursue you. You took off for your life when a band of demons intercepted the devils pursuing you, causing them to slow. However, one absolutely persistent and unrelenting devil has pursued you this entire way. Along the way, you managed to steal a little war machine, which eventually ran out of fuel and plummeted off this cliff just above you there, which is how allowed this bearded devil to catch up on his own little war machine, cutting off in front of you as you've reached the pinnacle of this mountain at this strange-looking site. He circles around you with a gruesome smile, and in your mind you hear, "You're a small one. You're fast, but not fast enough. Oh, I'm going to enjoy ripping your limbs from your body." You see he points this very large, spiked tooth glaive in your direction. Let's go ahead and roll some initiative. Make sure to roll for Malvo as well.
Taking in the surroundings, a bit distracted. I think he gets the jump.
He does indeed. His eagerness, his bloodlust to hunt down his prey, driving him forward. He's going to charge right towards you. And several of these spiny tentacles at the bottom of his face, his beard, lashes out towards you. Oh god, how is it starting off like this again? Another critical hit on the first attack.
Let me see. I think I've got the lucky feats. I'll go ahead and burn one of those to try and give him disadvantage, if I can.
Okay. That'll make it a 16 to hit.
AC 17. Quick on his feet.
He lashes towards you with his beard, and then his big glaive swings over your head, and it's going to swing towards Malvo. With a 19 to hit against your tiefling friend.
Oh, that hits.
Malvo's going to take 12 points of slashing damage, and I need him to make a Constitution saving throw, please.
18.
Okay. He manages to resist the fearsomeness of this glaive, not suffering any additional effects from it this time.
How much damage was that, did you say?
12 slashing.
Alright.
And that'll be the end of the Bearded Devil's turn, and it brings it to you.
You should take him one for the team, Malvo. Alright. surprised by what's happening. I think the halfling would like to get a little bit of distance between himself and the bearded devil. Can we bonus action disengage?
Mm-hmm.
And let's see if we can. We'll move a little bit further away, and as Thrush retreats, he'll try and fire off a short bow arrow at bearded devil.
Got it.
17.
17 definitely hits.
For 8 piercing. With a sly smile, he'll keep trying to move a little bit further behind this very ominous skull. And
You are going to drop down about 5 feet or so off of that little cliff there.
okay, that works. He'll just kind of use that too. I don't have a bonus action to hide, but he'll try and crouch down underneath that ledge and call that a turn.
Got it. As that arrow sinks into this devil, he turns in your direction as you just leap over the edge, but still in your mind you hear, "You're not going to get away so quick, so easily, little one. You don't know who you're dealing with." That'll bring us to Melvin.
Let's try to do a Misty Step with that bonus action instead.
Okay.
Get some distance between us. Well, let's say he'll Misty Step over to here, and then with a wry smile, he'll collect some energy in the palm of his hand and try and fire an Eldritch Blast at the devil.
Got it.
23.
Yeah, 23 will definitely hit.
Nice. 13 damage.
Oof, that's a good one.
That agonizing blast.
This bearded devil kind of looks over his shoulder as he takes that blast from Malvo. Says, "I thought you were supposed to be on my side." He's then going to quickly pursue after you, getting out of line of sight of Malvo, dropping down right beside you. And he's going to lash out with that beard attack once again.
How could you find me?
Ooh, real low on the roll there. 8's going to miss the beard attack.
Yeah, 8 will miss. 8 will miss.
So he'll swing, kind of bring his glaive spinning around, a bit of an uppercut towards you for an 18 to hit.
That'll hit.
Excellent. He'll take 7 points of slashing damage, and I will need a Constitution saving throw from you. Okay?
18. Nice. Hardy little fellow.
Indeed. You managed to take not an entirely full blow from this glaive and avoid suffering an infernal wound from it. Kind of frustrated, the bearded devil, you see this like purplish, scaly, kind of moist skin kneels down or kind of bends down to get face to face with you as his beard kind of rides. You see maggots crawling within those tendrils. He doesn't even move his mouth as he continues to speak telepathically in your mind. "I'm going to absolutely destroy you." And that'll bring us to your turn.
I'm just gonna have to keep on running and hiding. Let's use a bonus action again to disengage. And we'll get some distance once more. So since I hit him with the short bow last round, does Vex apply for this
Sure
until the end of my
does.
turn?
Yeah.
Hey, happy days. Let's try and hit him again. So that'll give us advantage.
Correct. Which gives you sneak attack too.
Hopefully. Let's have some fun. Let's throw a dagger at him. Let's see if we can hit him with a dagger.
Sure.
With advantage, so we'll roll it again. There's a 19 hit.
19 does hit, absolutely.
Right. So we'll do... I think that has that calculated in there.
It does.
Fantastic. So, yep, so 11 sneak attack and 5 on the dex.
Outs-
Kind of run away and kneel down on one knee and take his time to close one eye and aim between all those wonderful tentacled beards. Loose an arrow.
Throw a dagger.
Yeah, right.
You see a couple of those tentacles sliced off as you connect heavily with this guy's face. And he just lets out a angry howl.
Never miss with my trusty knife.
Alright, anything else from you?
It's action, bonus action. I think he might have a little bit, maybe 5 more feet of movement, so kind of tuck in over here a little bit.
Alright, that brings to Malvo.
All right. Malvo's going to need a little bit extra protection now, because he got hurt pretty bad. So now we'll try and put Armor of Agathis on him for that bonus action.
Got it.
His last spell slot. And then we'll call out to the devil and tell him to pick on someone his own color and size and try and hit him again with an Eldritch Blast.
Okay, from that position, I'm going to say he has 3/4 cover, which is a little bit down that ledge there.
Let's see. Probably doesn't have enough movement to negate that cover, I would imagine. I think he's got about 15 feet left.
Yeah, he's going to have 3/4 pretty much from anywhere Malvo can get.
That's okay. We'll give it a shot. We'll see if we can hit him.
Okay.
Oh, I don't think a 12 is going to do it.
12 is not going to do it, unfortunately. Malvo's Eldritch Blast just hits the rock and the dust, the red sandy soils of Avernus, just in front of that bearded devil's face.
That's it for Malvo.
Alright. Relentlessly pursuing you, this bearded devil is intent on at least landing a proper hit on you. I'm trying to showcase some of the bearded devil's abilities here. If it doesn't happen, it's okay. That is the nature of the dice sometimes. But I just want to... so I'll take a little step here behind the DM screen. He is going to lash out at you with his beard attack, which I think this time will hit for with a 21.
That hits.
Okay. He'll take 7 points of piercing. And you gain the poisoned condition until the start of the devil's next turn.
Did you want to do another Constitution save, or does that happen?
This happens automatically.
Awesome.
So combining these attacks is really kind of what I've been trying to exemplify here. If this Infernal Glaive attack does hit, with an 18, it should. For 11 slashing damage. I'll then need another Constitution saving throw to see if you can resist that infernal wound.
Oh no, a 9.
Okay. You do suffer an infernal wound. While you are wounded, you're going to lose a d10 worth of hit points at the start of each of your turns. Unless you're able to close that wound, which will automatically close after 1 minute, or if a spell restores hit points to you, or after you or somebody else uses an action to staunch this wound. The unique thing about the poisoned condition from this creature is that it prevents you from healing during that turn while you are poisoned. So you cannot regain hit points while you're poisoned from its beard, making it quite a deadly creature.
Yeah. That is an interesting puzzle for sure.
The bearded devil lets out a laugh, cry of success, as he's got you right where he wants you now. And it's going to be your turn. At the start of your turn, you take one single point of infernal wound damage.
Tamora smiles on me. Got lucky. Thrush is looking injured and concerned, and he's in a bad spot. Let's see what he can do. So he said he can't heal while he's poisoned, and that poison lasts for a minute?
No, the poison only lasts until the start of the bearded devil's next turn.
Gotcha.
But to cure the wound, which does last for a minute and will cause damage at the start of every turn, you would need to receive healing magic, which you cannot do this turn, or you would have to use an action to make a medicine check and try and staunch the wound.
Okay. Yeah, he's in trouble. Let's use the cunning action again and disengage with the bonus action. And run off towards our tiefling friend for some help. And we'll use 30 feet of movement after we disengage and kind of stumble out from behind that skull up the embankment and nearly stumble into our feet in front of Malvo. We'll try and use our action to see if we can't do some triage. Close that wound.
Yeah, that'll be a medicine. Medicine check.
Oh, I'm fantastic at those.
Oh.
That's a 1, but
You're half.
that's right. Let's try that one more time. See if we get lucky. 13. Any better?
12 is what you needed. So yeah, you managed to staunch that wound. Your bleeding out ceases.
Rub a lucky rabbit's foot, flip a coin, grab a horseshoe, cross my fingers, hope for the best.
Hell yeah. Nicely done.
I think that's all he's got.
All right. What's your passive medicine skill? Probably 9 by the looks of it.
That's a great question. He's got a +1.
Oh, so it'd be 11.
Medicine.
Okay. Yeah. I was just gonna. So, taking a look into my mind there, I was asking for a passive medicine check to see if you could kind of determine how injured the bearded devil is. But even with an 11, all I can really give you is that he is hurt. You've definitely done some damage to him.
I was looking at the wrong character sheet. Anyways.
Yeah. I was going to give you a little more precise reading on how injured that devil is, but with an 11, you can just tell he's pretty hurt. But yeah, that'll be Malvo's turn.
All right, Malvo, buddy. We need a home run here. Not looking too good so far. Pannon's not doing so well. I think he's out of pack slots. So he'll bravely march forward to defend his new compatriot and see if we can get a good angle on him for an Eldritch Blast. About there. That's about the extent of his movement anyhow.
Give you half cover there. 20 will do it.
20. All right. 8 force damage from that Eldritch Blast.
Amazing. Malvo sees the bearded devil kind of stumble a little bit, manages to keep his feet underneath him, but he is struggling to stay standing.
I don't think he's got anything good with his bonus action, so that's it.
Right. Top of the round, with the bearded devil, you are no longer poisoned. Malvo, or sorry, not Malvo, the bearded devil, taking an Eldritch Blast from Malvo, sees a new target, is going to charge forward, can try and position himself in such a way he can make an attack on both of you.
Very smart.
Yeah, these creatures, these bearded devils, are just single-mindedly focused. They're basically shock troopers that want nothing more than to fight, to invoke fear and terrify. So he's going to lash out with his beard towards Malvo. It's a 16 to hit on Malvo.
I think he's at 13 AC, so that hits. But he's got Armor of Agathis.
Okay.
So he'll get 10 cold damage in return for whatever goes through.
10. You see, he seems to shrug off that cold damage pretty easily. He is resistant to cold damage, as most devils are. Malvo's going to take 8 points of piercing damage from the beard attack and become poisoned.
Okay, he's got just a little bit of that Armor of Agathis, that armor protecting him left.
Smart.
I think he's got some trickery up his sleeve from his lineage, though.
Am I about to be hellish rebuked?
No.
Smart.
Wish I would have picked that. Resistance to poison damage, but I guess he didn't take any poison damage yet, so.
Yeah, it's not poison damage, it's just the poison condition. And then he's going to swing around with that Infernal Glaive, trying to finish off Thrush Underhill. 14 is not going to hit, though.
Quick roll to the side.
That's going to be the end of the bearded devil's turn, who, very clearly injured, stands himself up straight, unafraid to die for what he believes in, which is destroying other people. That'll be you, Thrush.
Hey. Thrush is still kneeling down from tending to that massive wound he received. He'll just stay put and see if he can steady his short bow and do some more damage to him. We'll do at advantage and see if we can get a sneak attack on this. 22.
22 definitely hits.
Seven sneak attack and another 5. 18 total.
Amazing. This bearded devil, having rushed up here, kind of pulls himself up straight as he looks down at you as you steady this aim directly at him. You hear in your mind, "At least one of us is going to die here today. Make it a good shot. I know who it's gonna be." How good is your shot? Describe it for me.
In between consciousness and his tunnel vision from nearly passing out, he pulls the string taut on the short bow, and the arrow and bow kind of sway from left to right as his vision fades, and he shakes it off and concentrates real quick and aims for just below the what he thinks would be a chin of a bearded devil, and tries to sink that arrow into his throat.
Hell yeah. It finds its purchase, strikes true. The bearded devil just goes rigid, falls face first, crashing before you. Unmoving, unbreathing, no longer a threat. plains of Avernus fall quiet, other than the rumbling sound of the infernal war machine that this bearded devil chased you upon just behind you. And with that, we'll say Thrush and Malvo steal yet another infernal war machine, glide off onto the plains of Avernus in search of a way home. Having killed at least one devil, they know that they can do it again, but don't know how strong this one was compared to some of the others they might encounter.
Lessons learned. Devils are resistant to cold.
Yeah.
Who would have thought?
Resistant to cold, immune to fire, immune to poison, immune to frightened.
I always like devils a little bit more than demons because they're colder and logical, more calculated in their moves.
Yes. I like demons because they're so unpredictable.
Oh, you know I'm a chaos goblin. I like that too.
Hell yeah. Alright. Well, hey, thank you for joining me tonight to do this. Any closing remarks, final thoughts? Anything you want to say about the Bearded Devil?
Interesting mechanics. Anytime you can add a poison or another effect to a complex fight or a situation, it definitely increases the odds, makes it more interesting and dangerous. So
Absolutely. Yeah, I could see these guys being quite formidable in like a pack of like 3 or 4, where they're all kind of applying that poison or those infernal wounds.
there's a lot of different troops out there too. It'd be interesting to put together a pack of a couple different types of devils and see what they could do.
Totally. These guys are kind of, they're only a CR3, as part of the devil hierarchy. They're like second from the bottom. The only thing below them really are imps, so they only get stronger from here.
We'll have to see if Thrush and Malvo survive lower levels. They'll come across an Abishai later on.
It's possible. We could be. I do plan on doing monster talks all the way up to those higher levels, so maybe if we revisit the plains of Avernus, we'll bring back Thrush and Malvo.
Awesome. Appreciate it. Thanks, K-Man. That was fun.
Hell yeah.